All right, let's go to another chat.
Okay, Ashley Webb wants to know, my school is hosting a meeting titled Exploring Definitive Moments of Whiteness. What should I do?
Don't go.
Okay.
This is so stupid.
How can you what does that even...
What does it mean? How does that help black? I don't understand. How does that help? The idea is this is done under the guise of it helps black people.
It doesn't.
Supposedly.
I would imagine that it would create more racism.
Yeah, it does.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned about it, honestly, because I grew up in Montreal, and our school did not have a lot of black kids. But we had a lot of Asians. We had a lot of Middle Eastern kids. We had a lot of specifically Lebanese kids, a lot of Muslims. Like we had prayer rooms. And it was mostly a post-racial world, and both in the United States and in Canada. Like we had black, but we didn't really think about it so much. You'd rib each other. And I'm worried that there is no post-racial America now. There was post-racial America for a period where when I was growing up, now, does it mean that maybe I didn't understand some of the individual racism that black people face? Of course. I understand that there's individual discrimination that everyone faces that maybe I didn't face. I have different experiences because I was an English-speaking Canadian in French Canada where they had the language police, and if I opened Stevens 'S Diner, I was fined out of business. So there was actual systemic discrimination against English-speaking citizens in Quebec. So not by skin color, but by language, but by where you were born. I did experience some of that discrimination growing up, and so I know that it feels pretty crappy. That being said, it's not the same here in the United States. There's no systemic discrimination. When we grew up, there was, I would say post-racial America because what were the shows that I watched? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters. It wasn't like we ever said we watched the black show and the white show. Even the shows that we watched, like Power Rangers, were mixed, right? It was just something, it was just kind of like it was never a thing.
Yeah. Tons of black stars, Denzel Washington, Will Smith. I mean, there's a ton of them.
But think about it now.
And now it's...
What do you have now? You have,
I don't know.
I don't even know what's on, but you would have like Modern Family, and then you have Tyler Perry and TBS. It's like now you have black people go, and it's like, this is black people content. This is white people content.
Exactly,
Right? We didn't really, I don't know, I felt like we didn't have that nearly as much when we were growing up. It was way more mixed, and now I think the kids constantly being reminded. Here's what worries me. Okay, you obviously haven't experienced this because you're black. No one ever came up to you and said, like, we're going to teach you a class where you have to recognize how awful you are for being black. So imagine you're a white...
They probably need to.
but imagine a white kid going to school who's never owned a slave, who's never had a racist thought, and he's going to school and he has teachers telling him, no, you need to recognize your privilege. No, you have problems. No, you need to recognize the horrible things that your forefathers have committed. You're bad because you're... What's going to happen? That kid's going to resent it, and he's going to say, well, why are they doing this? I haven't done anything wrong. Oh, because black people want me to do this? All right, well, maybe I have a problem. But it's not black people. It's feminist white bitches.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that you're going to have way more racism in this generation because when you vilify someone based on race, they're going to see race a lot more.
Yeah, there's way more racism in this country now. It all started in Obama's administration. Ever since then, it's getting worse and worse. But that's what they want.
And that's what I remember, that was the one silver lining, I thought, with Barack Obama being president. I was like, okay, socialist, smoking crack with Bill Ayers, all right, supports babies, babies born alive, letting them die in a way. I was like, hey, pretty bad. But the one silver lining is at least there can be total healing. Like now, a black person has, Will Smith talked about it for years, being the first black president, ha. And now I said, that'll at least be one good thing. And then it was just like the racial unity just cracked.
It's been all downhill from there.
It really, who would have thought that who would have thought that you would go from riots, racial riots in this, like my dad in Detroit in the 60s, and civil rights, but which obviously there was racism, and obviously those people experienced it, and obviously we need to understand history, but who would have thought that we went racial riots, skip a generation, you have Los Angeles individually, but and then Black Lives Matter riots under the first black president. If you would have told us that in 1998,
and then it escalates,
no one would have believed you. They're like, what? You're going to have the first black president and you're going to have the most violent, racially motivated riots ever? How does that work? That's what we ended up with.
Mainstream media.
But they want us to think that it's because, you say some naughty words or you tell some racially motivated jokes. That's what's really causing the division. No, it's not teaching young kids that they suck because they're white, and not teaching young kids that they need to let their stores be looted if someone has the right skin color, and it's not from telling young black kids that they can't make it in America. Just ignore the last president who served 8 years and his retarded sidekick who's now serving another 4. It's not because of all this browbeating and racial division and solely identifying people by their race. It's because Kramer got up at an open mic at Laugh Factory.
Yeah, he got pissed.
It was a bad moment. Don't get me wrong, but like that didn't breed new racists.
Yeah.
People didn't watch that and go, he makes a compelling argument. He's an people go, that guy's crazy.
What happened with that? They was heckling him, right? Some
Yeah.
black
Yeah,
people.
They were heckling him, and then they turned the camp. That was the first sort of cancel thing. And that being said, it was like everyone sort of agreed this was horrible. He shouldn't have said this. Repeatedly said, like, he didn't just say N-word. He stuck it with the ER. And
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
put the
And
M
He was
You-
saying the hardest thing for them. He was
Right.
going, what can I offend this person with?
Right.
And then he said
And
that.
here's the thing, I think it was horrible. I also
Yeah.
don't think he's a racist. I
No,
think I
that's
know.
what- yeah.
So my mom did Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal. She was a wardrobe stylist, and he was a host one year, and he was debilitatingly shy because he had never done really like live shows like that. He was more of a classical actor.
Right.
And I think maybe he had an improv background. I don't know. But compared to like Jerry Seinfeld or compared to John Candy or Dame Edna or Joan Rivers, all these people would come in and she'd have to do the costumes and work with him. She said he was really nice, but he was really shy. Like I think he would like throw up before going on stage. Like, he would get back in the green room when he was really, really demure and shy. And then he was just trying to do stand up. And it's a pressure cooker. If someone heckles you, right, at stand up, especially when you're coming up, now most people are there for you.
Yeah.
What happens is they say something where they're trying to take over the show. The way you shut them down is by stinging them so hard and so fast that they don't want to speak again.
Yeah. Right.
And so you combine that with, I need to shut this guy up, with a complete lack of experience, and that's where you end up with Michael Richards saying all that crazy racist
Go a
stuff.
little far.
Shut up!
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.